Hello everyone, it's me, Team Mario C, and I am back after a long break on, I was about to say Hypixel Skyblock, because that's the other Skyblock I played. No, this is Cosmicsky. It has been a while, it must be said. I am playing the server that I played quite a lot for the first few seasons. I've taken a few season break because 1, my computer broke, and 2, it's been long enough where I've forgotten what it's like, and they've had a lot of updates since, so I'm excited to get back in. I am the highest rank Celestial, and I will be purchasing a certain item, not event kits. Wait, interesting. Wait, what? Did it say I haven't unlocked it? Okay, there's a lot of things that have changed since I last played, but hopefully we'll be getting into it and I'll be explaining how to play this game as you go. So first of all, this is a Skyblock server. That means that, well, if we do /tutorial, we can see our first objective is to /create our island. And here we are. Don't worry about the things yet. They're later. So you can come on over. You can see basically some useless. Actually, no, not useless. Take the apples. Apples are good. That will become obvious in a second. The next thing on the tutorial list is kit starter. That gives you an actual starter kit, which isn't in this chest. We have the island trophy, which was apparently the next tutorial quest. I didn't even know that. And we get a few things, and some cookies, which I will also want, and another chest, which is good. So we have some farmland and some wheat seeds. For the farmland, well, we already have farmland over here, but we can place that. Then we want to craft a crafting bench. I'm going to go through this tutorial. It's pretty self-explanatory so far, but this is how you normally start them, and then we'll get into some of the more interesting things. So we have that's outside of the border of the world, except it's a building. Anyway, that's quite funny. We're going to place our saplings. Craft one log node using resource node fragments from planting. Hang on, I need to move this hard down a little bit so you can read the boss bar text. There we go. Okay, I am on Lunar Client, not any custom mod pack. This is... I was very spontaneous in deciding I was going to play this today. So, yes. There's a lot of things going on, but now that I have to wait for some trees to grow, I can have a look at some of my other kits. Now, because I am Celestial rank, I have access to the Galactic kit, which is the second highest rank. And then I have access to the super powerful Celestial kit. So first of all, we're going to do this. We're going to immediately right click it, and we get some adventure items. We got some coal ore resource fragments. 64 of those make a coal ore node. We'll talk about nodes more in a minute once we've made a log node. And then I've got 2 plantable crops, so some pitcher pods and some glow berries. Now, in order to get crops on the island, you have to go through the IS farming progression. So you start off with wheat, then you get sweet berries at island level 2, island level 4, etc, etc. Once you get to carrots and beyond, you will also start need farming recipe items, which can only usually be found in /adventure. This is the core gameplay loop. The adventure is a PvP, or not technically PvP enabled, but it's a combat enabled zone where you take your gear and you go and raid the adventure. You kill bandits, you get loot, and then you use that loot to progress your island, as well as a variety of other things like upgrading your gear, getting all sorts of other stuff. It's a good time. And this is the loot table. There are a number of tiers. The current tier that we have unlocked, the only one currently unlocked, is Basic. And you can go through and look at all the items in Basic, and there's a lot of them. I'm not going to explain all of them, but I think that there's nothing unique compared to the last time I've seen it. So we're going to put the galactic kit away, and then we're going to move on to the new thing. We're going to go back to the celestial kit. Added this map, I've just read the patch notes, is adventure kits. Now this is a great way, hopefully, for new players to actually get started, because adventures are actually tough. It's very important that you get protection 3 gear at a bare minimum as soon as possible, and getting some custom enchants is good too, but this is something that everyone gets at adventure level 1, and it comes with custom enchants. You'll notice that it's honestly just it looks just as good from the protection standpoint from the vanilla enchants on it, but I will tell you now, Well-Fed, Bandit Barrier and Angelic, all of these are very useful, and surprise surprise, it's actually Well-Fed that is the most useful. The reason Well-Fed is the most useful is because it boosts the amount of saturation that you get from food, and saturation gives you an incredible amount of instant regen. You drain your saturation incredibly quickly if you are not at full health, which means that Well-Fed is one of the best enchants you can get your hands on in order to do adventure grinding. So this update with adventure kits that added this season is genuinely one of the best changes for early game adventuring that I have seen. Now, we have a few trees grown. So we'll come back to the celestial kit, but first we will want to harvest some trees. This is very similar to the normal Skyblock experience, but what you'll notice is that we are not getting logs from this tree. We are getting something called log resource fragments, and you'll note that they are very similar to the coal ore resource fragments. What you can see is that you can combine these and you can get log nodes. Now this, instead of the actual trees or things on the island that you mine directly, these nodes are how you get the raw materials on Cosmic Skyblock. So if we place these down, you'll see that if I mine it manually, spoilers about auto mining, you can get something called wood scrap, and then wood scrap, spoiler alert, can be used to make actual logs. But we'll place those down. Tutorials telling us to do IS tools, and this tells you about this. So take a breath. Let's talk about island tools now. Island tools can be crafted using materials from resource nodes and can be leveled up to 100. So this is new since this is kind of new compared to when I was playing. So the last time I played, there was one type of island tool, and it upgraded in tier every time you got to a certain level threshold. That is now not the case. There are 4 kinds of island tool types: Slayer, mining, farming, and fishing. We've already talked a bit about island farming, and you've seen some island mining, and then slaying and fishing are the other island skills. All of these give island XP, which are necessary to level up your island. The best one, I think, still for island XP is farming, but the other ones are pretty decent, especially early game as well. But new from when I played is that these, you can't upgrade the tier by upgrading the levels. You need a completely new island tool. So if I do /tutorial, stone pickaxe skill item, I might be able, yes, there we go. I can do collect, which is a good thing if you ever feel like you have loot to claim. /collect is the command to do it. It should tell you at some point. Yeah, it does tell you about that later in the tutorial, but I'll just tell that now. So I now have the stone miner's pickaxe, and this is the stone tier island tool. So that's pretty important. But here is the log nodes, and we've just mined some of it, and we've gotten that. So you'll see there's some messages in the chat. This is quite important. I only needed to mine up one of those, but never mind. So we've started making progress towards stone resource nodes. So now I've done IS farming. Let's have a look more in detail at IS mining. So you can see the island XP gained per action. So far I've gained 6 island XP, which is only 0.23% of the way to level 2. We'll get there eventually. But once I mine 25 log nodes, I will have access to stone resource nodes. And then once you mine 1,000 stone nodes and reach island level 8, you can get up to coal resource nodes. So this is pretty significant. And then much more as you go along. However, also said, ice mining, is it? If we scroll back up, hidden in there is deep slate cobble resource nodes. So if I keep mining this, or I'll show you in a minute once I have some more nodes, you can actually make upgraded versions of nodes. I don't think you can do it for wood, but once you get a bit further along, you can make upgraded nodes. So before I start doing the next tutorial quest, actually, nah, Celestial's too overwhelming for you guys right now. Let's do some of this. So the next tutorial quest is to mine this tent, and you'll actually notice that the first block that was there was a building block and not an actual spawned cobblestone. But the spawned cobblestones are giving me cobblestone resource fragments. And these can be used to make the next tier of node, which is cobblestone nodes. So we go there, craft that, and we have 2 cobblestone nodes. So I'm going to put these... I actually need to reach the island level required to do that, which will take a bit of time. The wheat has not yet grown, so I think it might be time for us to do some more thingy-mabobs. The next thing you can do, or one of the things, the next thing I'm going to do, you probably can't do this, is Kit Celestial. Now this has a whole bunch of items, and you're probably not going to know what any of them do if you haven't already played this game before. But we're going to open it, and we got some interesting things. So now is the time where we're going to talk about enchanting. Now there are 2 types of enchanting in this game. There is the vanilla enchanting, and then there are the custom enchants that you get from gems. Now in order to reveal what a gem has, you have to examine them in the gem forge. So you can do this in spawn, or if you have a rank, you can do it, or if you have a high enough rank, you can do it in the gem forge. If you examine these, that's something even I don't know about, but that's way down the line. You can examine gems and consume vanilla experience points. I'm going to do 1 as an example because it's actually quite a lot of experience, and I got Curse 1, which is obviously the lowest level, and it's not particularly useful right now. It's not a bad enchant, but this Curse 1 is basically useless. What you can do with useless gems, which is basically any gem that has, if it's level 1 gem, yeah, it's probably bad. You can take it to the Tinkerer, and you can tinker it into a stone secret dust, which has a chance to give you, oh, I got lucky, a enchantment dust. So you'll have seen on that gem, if I do another example, because why not? That's so bad. You can actually use this dust to reduce the break chance of the gem. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, getting 2 enchantment dust successes in a row is very lucky. It's usually not 100%. Do not expect it to be 100%. but apparently I got lucky. Now let's talk about some of the other things I got. The other thing, or one of the things I got, is 2,500 seasonal cosmic coins. These are able to buy items from the IRL shop. I have a few things here. You can also convert seasonal coins into lifetime coins. Seasonal coins only stay for the duration of a single map, whereas lifetime is the stuff that I kept to this map, right? We can use those to buy some things. I have 73,500, or with the 2,500 on top, I have, what is that, 76,000? And I can buy a loot box bundle. I am going to buy this, and that is going to leave me with some number, 12,000 remaining cosmic coins. So we're going to open that bundle later, because that's got a lot more stuff. But we also have science ingots. Science is used for a variety of things, mostly to do with automation, and you can usually look at that by going into the science shop to see some of the things that you can potentially buy. One of those is trinkets. So what I am going to do actually is convert this science ingot into science scrap. I am immediately going to buy 3 of these trinkets, and then I am going to divvy up. No, don't do that. I'm going to divvy up that science ever so tightly into these trinkets. So these are very useful. That's why it's nice to get that science ingot straight off the bat, but you will be able to get science fairly readily in the adventure. Now, the other items we got. I got this minor map pet. It has a certain ability. There are lots of different pets in the game. They're basically just items that you can level up, usually very slowly by using them, or most likely by having rare candy. And then here is all the types. The new pets, since I last played, are Quester Quincy, Barry, and Barry B. I thought there was another one, but there isn't. And they have things related to island quests and beehives, which is another new addition that I don't know anything about. So the minor mat we're just going to put in the chest for now, and we're going to keep hold of these trinkets. And this pet leash is very simple. You can apply it to this pet, and if you die in a risk inventory area, you will still keep the pet. Here we have a random stone socket expander. Now, sockets are required in order to apply the custom enchants we talked about earlier. In the Abandoned Ruins gear, you will see that there are sockets. However, if we try and go back to the Gem Forge and use the remove tool, you can do it, but it will be destroyed if you try and remove it. This is a special kind of socket where you're not meant to be able to remove it because it is on this gear, but other gems that you apply you can get off. I think you have a chance to remove, so you know it depends a lot. But if we open this, the higher the tier of the socket, ideally it's heroic or godly, you need a socket of at least, or okay, we talked before, we had a gem, we had a cursed gem, right? That was a heroic socket because that was pink. Then we had an enraged gem, that was a legendary tier. So you can put the enraged gem in a heroic socket because it's a higher tier, but you couldn't put the curse in the legendary socket because it's a low tier, but you could obviously put it in the heroic. You'll notice that basic, these white enchants are the lowest tier, and then we have the elite enchant, which is angelic. So these are quite low tier enchants, although as I said before, well-fed is incredibly useful early game. So we're going to open this, we're going to get an elite stone socket expander, which is not ideal, but not terrible. There are definitely good enchants in the low tiers, although most of them are already on my gear and low levels. And then we also got some spawner shards, I think. This might have been a tutorial reward, but this can be combined to make a spawner, and that is how you get onto the third island skill that we haven't talked about yet. This is the Slayer menu. So you go through like the other things. You have to slay a certain amount of the mobs in order and reach the required island level to unlock the next mob, and then you can spawn those. These are the things that give island XP. Should be fairly obvious, island XP, or it's not island XP. They do give island XP. They also give vanilla XP. Vanilla XP is very important for vanilla enchantments, but also for examining and applying enchantment gems. So this is why slaying is important, and it also gives a reasonable source of money and a decent amount of island XP too. They have also got some special combined mobs that I haven't used at all, so we're not going to worry about that yet. But I have a few cobblestone nodes that I really should have been mining while I've been doing this talking. But I've been looking through menus, so I haven't really had a chance to mine properly. I still cannot place that down yet. But where were we? So we just finished IS Slayer, but now I think we're in a position where we're going to keep talking. I know, so much talking. And we're going to move on at last to the loot box bundles. So this gives us 6 guaranteed bonus items. That is the 3 loot boxes, the stone gear maker pack, the XP bottle, and the socket expander. We've already seen the XP and socket expander. This has a bunch more enchantment gems, as well as some random enchantment books, and even more XP. In fact, we can go in and have a look at that, which is good. But it also has a random loot item from the top, which can either be in ascending order of excellence, 10 minor stone gems, which would be a rip, a farming hoe XP booster, which would also be a rip, mystery pet box, which would be okay, pantheon mask, which would be good, lucky block, which would be good. Well, I'll explain that if I get it, but I'm probably not going to. And then the GG insane RNG loot would be the cosmic crate. I'm going to do a toggle. These give a bunch of little things you can do, but the toggle I am going to look for, which should be, I think it is a notification somewhere, right? Yeah. It's in other. We're gonna enable the loot box animation because we want to see what this random loot will be. Obviously, if it's the CC, it's a GG, but it's not going to be the CC. It's probably going to be something mid, like the gems. That's never mind. But the main thing is we got 3 loot boxes and a bunch of other stuff. So we're going to put the gems away. Going to open the socket expander. Oh wow, wait. Oh, I didn't realise all of those were bonus items. Excellent. That is, I'm much happier about that. I thought that was just another completely random expander. Never mind. I'm going to claim that XP. Open the stone gear, not steer gear. These are specifically combat gems, which means they have a more restricted pool of enchants. Don't ask me the loot table, I could not possibly tell you right now. Then we also have a bunch of random enchantment gems, which gives you a random vanilla enchant from the list. Normally, you would go into /enchanter and have to buy these. So these are each worth, the armor and tool ones worth 100 XP each, which are these ones. So this is 1600 XP, this is 1200 XP, and then these are worth 250, so it's worth a lot more. Now, a little bit of tip, you should aim to get a auto tinkerer as soon as possible, which allows you to filter the books. I unfortunately have to do the old-fashioned way. We are looking for Smite 4 and Sharp 4. Thankfully, we've got quite a lot of Smite 4s. How many Smite 4 have these been selling for? You know, that's just lowest one, 700. I don't think we're going to get anything more than 500, to be honest. So we can put that up. But we do have a Smite 4 book and at least Sharp 3, which is fine. Now the rest we are going to immediately tinker. There is a very disproportionate chance to get the high tiers, especially the maxed enchants like Smite 5 and Sharp 5. Those are actually really lucky to get. So if I get like a Protection 4 from this, that would be a huge GG. I'm just looking for Protection 3s though any protection would be good. Oh my god, I've never been this ripped before in my life. Did we get any... Okay. Fire prot 3 is fine. Feather falling 3 is fine. Is there anything... I mean, don't underrate fire protection. There are mobs in the adventure that can deal fire damage, so that it's not terrible, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm going to be opening some more of those books, because that was diabolically bad. This, the only thing we really get... Well, actually, efficiency 4 is nice, because we can put that on our tools, but we can also put unbreaking on our gear, but... you don't have to worry about your island tools breaking, because they don't have durability anymore, which is excellent. And I guess I'll just put the efficiency 4 on the anvil, because... the efficiency 4 on the anvil? No, on the axe. I know they both begin with A, but come on. Maintain your train of thought, you dumb boy. Okay, now we've got the good stuff. This is a random loot box of a bunch of different things that we could potentially get. Things that I'm interested in. Frankly, the list is too long to say, but if we get anything from the jackpot loot, that would be huge. So that starts at the direwolf pet, and it goes down to the skill tech. Literally anything from the direwolf, or if we get a jackpot loot, it's a GG. If we don't, we'll probably get a bunch of random, potentially garbage stuff. I would like some decent stuff though. Some wheat seeds would be good. It's only 3 items. Oh, well, there. That's a mid loot box. Can't lie. So okay, that's fine. We got some more gems and a rabbit spawner, and I'm going to place that rabbit spawner immediately. And some more thingy mabobbies that I'm going to put on there. Hopefully we can get something a bit better from this one, like some wheat seeds or one of the jackpot items. Random chain gear. Is any of these even good? Honestly, these are barely better than the thingy mobbies. I'm gonna open those once I've disabled the loot box animation, but we're gonna open this one first. Honestly, all of this is kind of trash. I'm being real with you guys. And we got 2 more of them. Of course we did. But we got some dust, which is not too shabby. Yeah. Not great. Not great. Might use the helmet. Probably not. So as far as this gear is concerned, I need to open some more armor enchants, to be sure. Prot 3, good start. One thing you get with ranks is access to private vaults, or player vaults. I always thought they were private vaults. Player vaults. These are double page storage locations. You won't get this as a no rank, except for like a little bit of stuff, but you can get a bit of it, or in my case a lot of it, because I'm the highest rank. And we are going to lay out the books we need. Obviously this process is a lot quicker if you have the auto tinkerer, but I'm going to speed through this and cut back in once we have got all the protection books we need. So just for reference, I opened over a stack of books there and didn't get a single maxed enchant, never mind a protection 4. But in that time we were able to get a prot 3 on of these 3 types. Blast protection's not very important, but that's fine. I probably am going to try and get a sharpness 4. apparently everyone's trying to sell sharpness 4s for 2.5 thingamabobbies. So let's open 10. Another smite 4. Another. Oh! Guys, did I just tell you how fucking rare sharp 4s are? None have been sold. Are any even on the auction house? They would be the most expensive. Honestly, this is an item offers type deal for sure. Let's see. This is huge, huge pull. These might still be sellable for something. I actually might keep this for a grind sword. I've done some gear opening. We've gone through that. Let's head back to the tutorial. We need to get to which stage? Somewhere along here. It's going to tell me to go to the adventure. So we're going to keep going through this. Oh wait, I've just realised the I'm completely an idiot because the requirement for stone nodes isn't an island level. It's having mined enough wood nodes. When you get an island skill level up, you'll have ridiculous fireworks like that. So there we go. Now I can take these as well as the nodes and immediately make a bunch of cobble nodes. Bish bash bosh, bish bash bosh, bish bash bosh. So now we get into the core of very skyblocky gameplay, which is obviously grinding resources. I could build a better cobble gen, but it's usually not worth it, time-wise. Unless you're good at building better ones. I could be good at building better ones, but I'm too lazy to get good at such a small chance. But we've had something interesting. We have had an attribute game. So this, again, going back to Island Tools, we saw that every 10 levels you get a random attribute. And I've just gotten that for this. I can't mine lock nodes with that. But I now have a chance to get gems. It's a very low chance, as you can see, 0.1% chance. So we're not expecting that, and that's only while, I think it's only while mining nodes. So yeah, pretty bad odds. But you can take this cobblestone and you can make resource cobblestone. So we have to keep doing that until we get 8. And then we can use that to make a furnace. So now that we have completed that, we can head on over to crafting table and make ourselves a furnace. So if I can craft 8 logs using wood scraps from wood nodes, that should be quite simple. And then I can smelt 2. By smelting down the resource logs, you can get charcoal. Now charcoal has 2 recipes. One combined with cobblestone, Wait, I did that. Also, you can do an ions create whatever. This is a... I mean, it's not even a reference, really. There's basically no one old enough to get it. Oh, okay. I think you have to be in proximity to the thing. It's a bit finicky. But if you combine that with this, you can get a special kind of bone meal. Now, this is very weird. Don't be confused. You can't get bone meal for any other crop. So don't expect there to be some fun recipe that lets you bone meal lots of other things. This is just a tutorial thing. But once you have the bone meal and once you have a seed, you'll notice this is fully grown. So what I can do is I can harvest it. But you'll notice that 1, it auto plants, but 2, I get wheat but no additional seeds. Seeds are very precious because you can't really duplicate them by farming. They are precious items you get from loot tables, mostly from adventure. But we can do this, but apparently you can't do it more than once every minute, which is quite funny. So we can do /collect and get a few things. We get a baby auto harvester and some repair scrolls. So if you are a unranked player, you'll probably want to use these repair scrolls. I do advise trying to get Unbreaking 2 on your gear as soon as possible if you are unranked. You can also use, this is worth showing actually, if you go to /spawn and not /hub, you can visit your dear friend Fixer Felix, who will automatically fix your gear for you on a reasonable but not particularly short cooldown. So from that, we also got a farming hoe. This is a special island tool that you can use and level up, which allows you to, as you level up, you will be able to get more like damage to crops. So you'll see that percentage bar takes a certain amount of damage to destroy a crop. Getting a good hoe is a good way to eventually insta-mine most things, right? I'm probably going to tinker all of this gear because it's pretty bad, and I already have the set that I have, and that gave me 600 XP, so definitely worth it. XP bottle all. That's a good way of saving XP. Oh wait, this is a thing. It says help. Did they add a thing for Bablock Islands? Oh, they've made this whole menu so much better. So yeah, if you are ever stuck, you can use this and hopefully get the answers to your questions. Is there no advice on bees? How do I do bees? This beehive thing. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, so if you are lucky enough to get a beehive spawn, you can get that. Once fully incubated, it could be transformed into a worker bee. Empty honeycomb. I don't really know anything about the bees, so we are going to learn about that together. Bees, I think, they are supposed to help boost your crop growth because pollinators make sense, right? So the tutorial thing, this baby auto harvesters are pretty important. So what you can do is they will move along and they will go back. So if you'll see, if you read their description somewhere, it should say, actually I think if you break it, so it will stop when it finds a solid block in front of it, and if there's an empty block, which includes a water source block, then it will turn around. So watch out for that. But you'll notice it's saying it has insufficient fuel. Where do you get fuel? Well, you get fuel from fuel resource nodes. What I can do is I can place down the fuel resource node, and I can also go back to grinding log nodes, because you'll notice, or you'll have noticed, that charcoal was how I got the resource fragments to build the fuel nodes in the first place. But yeah. So as you can see, collect and smelt 9 logs in a furnace. That's basically what it's telling me to do, is to... So one thing you can do with an empty hand is you can shift mine to pick up nodes. Like that. Which makes it a bit easier for moving them around if you misplace or if you end up having more than you needed. Oh gosh, here they all are. So /crafting. If you, as I've just continued through the tutorial quest, and I had collected and smelted 9 logs. So once I'd run /crafting, you can see a huge variety of custom things. So the oak log tree is very simple. You can make, a bunch of what have you log nodes, combine them to get combine 16 nodes to get enriched log nodes. Blah blah blah. Very very simple. And you can do a similar thing for lots of these nodes too. So you can get enriched cobble nodes. You can also obviously use cobble to make the bone meal. And then we get to fuel. So we get log nodes, get wood scrap, get oak logs, make charcoal with a furnace, make fuel nodes, and then make enriched fuel nodes. It is very important to have enriched fuel nodes because more fuel is better. Fuel is very important. Automation is the primary way you're going to level up your island, so you wanna work on that as soon as possible. Basically, yeah. I need to clear out my inventory a bit. You know what? Let's not worry about chests. Also, some items are island restricted, like wheat, apparently. So, yeah, bear that in mind, I guess. So here I can show you that crafting recipe we looked at before. Wait. I think that's wrong. Or... that must be wrong. Wait, how much? It thought it needed 16, but I just got 3. Oh, it's 9 for these. Oh, that's much better. Cool. So I'll continue to work on that. Oh, a little bit of advice. Actually getting additional blocks is kind of difficult. So if you're just starting out, especially if you're solo, I would use the insta mining of the island to get a bunch of building materials on your first island. Then do is delete, which is not a command I'm going to run right now, obviously, and then work on your island after that. Because honestly, I mean, I could. It wouldn't take much to back up the stuff with the insta mining of nodes, but I'm a bit lazy, so I'm not going to bother that, I think. And as much as these decorative things are nice, they are kind of just in the way. So let's get rid of them, and let's just place an absolute, just place saplings on literally every block. So now that these logs have been smelting for a while, and then I can take these and make some fuel nodes. Whoa! Revolutionary, I know. So what can you do with fuel nodes? Well, you can mine them. If you, like all nodes, right? So you can place them down, and they will respawn and produce fuel. So now that these fuel nodes have replenished, we can mine them and progress in the quest once more. Now, if I place that fuel, as it indicates, within the auto baby thingy, it will go back. It will go up to the water block. It's stuck. Oh, I thought it... that's interesting. Come back, baby Autobot. I guess instead of there, we go with... Put the fuel back in. So now that we've progressed through these quests, we can get this. This guy, very, very important. Do you know why this guy's very, very important? Because it can do... it can mine the nodes for me. Now, why is it important for something to be able to mine the nodes for me? Because, how do I get the fuel it mines into it? Well, I'm hoping it's going to show me how to do that at some point. Now that I've got multiple spawners, you might think that I have to have more space. You can actually you can right click without shifting to add the spawner into the same block, and it will be just as efficient as if there were 3 separate spawners. And now you can see this guy working away. And because he's a baby auto mining bot mining fuel, it's infinite. But we'll come back to the question of how do we automatically replenish it later. Now I need to do that, and I will have, already have a fishing rod. So because this guy is a baby auto mining bot, I should be able to demonstrate something quite quickly. So you'll be able to see that because it's a baby auto mining bot, it only has this 3x3 area that it can reach. It can't actually mine the blocks over here because it is a little baby bot that can't do that. This guy has obviously run out of the limited fuel he has. He needs fuel not only to move but also to harvest. Electricity is something I also have no idea about. The trophy display can also be turned off because we don't really care about that. And this guy has earned me some trophy points. So what are trophies? This is the thing that you might have seen in chat. Oh, hang on. Right, if this is me, RNG Jesus. Who the fuck? Okay. Oh, fuck. Someone's gonna say you. Someone's gonna correct the pronunciation. Someone's gonna... Is someone gonna say it? Is someone gonna say it? I'm kicking myself. Oh. I think I got away with that your misspelling. And no one's messaged me either, which is good. Apparently I'm too washed for someone to even bother me correcting. Yes, our next tutorial quest is the catching a fish. We got given a fishing rod from one of the quests. Not clear which one provided that reward in retrospect, but we got it from one of them. So we will have to get on with that at some point, won't we? Yes. Da, da, da. So yeah, I'm currently working towards one of my strategies here, one of my early game strategies, because I'm a solo. There is something that solos, especially solos, that have limited amounts of resource. Now, while I would love to adventure, and I would recommend adventuring, especially if you've got that combat itch, if you're like me and can tolerate a grind, or you just generally prefer to work on island related activities, what you can do is make enriched fuel nodes. Now, enriched fuel nodes is something that everyone will need for early game island setups, and not that many people are going to be making them. It's this little niche that solo players can occupy, and obviously it's not a niche that lasts very long. At some point the demand for enriched fuel nodes will deplete, and it won't be as profitable as it once was. But at the very beginning, it should be something that can allow you to make just a little bit of money. And money is important because money lets you buy, it lets you invest in whatever you choose to invest in. Whether that's in island quest related things, which is something I obviously haven't gotten to yet, or if you want to pivot to adventuring. And obviously all of this is made easier if you have more people, if you're playing with friends or a team that you've met within the server. You can divide and conquer. You can have someone focusing on island stuff while other people are out adventuring, and ultimately it's about what people enjoy more. Obviously as a solo you're kind of forced to do a bit of everything, or well, maybe that isn't obvious because we haven't really got into the nitty-gritty of things just yet, but it might become obvious in a bit. But what I can do now is, now that I've demonstrated, actually no, I can't do that. So what I'm currently working towards is or what I'll do is I'll demonstrate something, right? I'm trying to make enriched fuel nodes. So what I can do, just as a little visual thing, because it takes quite a while to make just one, I can build a little 4x4 area like this, and I can start placing my excess fuel nodes here. And once I have 16, I can mine them all up, and then I can start replacing the ones under here with enriched fuel nodes. And my first like milestone is to get 9 enriched fuel nodes and just have them underneath the baby Autobot and start producing a lot of fuel. That's the initial goal. It should be noted that the reason it's kind of profitable to make enriched fuel nodes is because, as I think I've mentioned, but maybe I didn't emphasize enough, it is a pain in the ass to set up. You actually have to collect. Not only am I working to optimize mass production by making enriched log nodes, you also have to then have a massive amount of furnaces set up to smelt all of the logs you'll be collecting in very large quantities. So it's, you know, it's a process. There are, you know, some ways you can automate it. The science shop has great opportunities for collecting certain things. The collection chest and the hopper is the main way we are going to start properly automating things on the island, though. The collection chest is a very useful tool. It allows you to automatically pick up within a specified chunk, or within the chunk that the collection chest is placed, automatically pick up items that you select in its filter within that chunk, which is great. And what that means is if you combine that with a hopper, you can place a hopper and then a collection chest on top of the auto miner bot, and it will, you know, pick up, in this case, the fuel that the baby Autobot is mined, and automatically hopper it back into the bot, which allows you to get an infinite supply of fuel. And then you can use either another collection chest or some kind of filter system to, you know, siphon off that fuel into other setups. That's the main idea. Okay, apparently the crafting thing hasn't been updated, because it takes 9 nodes to make all enriched nodes, it seems. So that's going to be an enriched node, so I need 2 more, so I just need the next 5. Take that, pick this one up. It is the same respawn, well, it doesn't matter, the respawn speed doesn't matter because the thingy bot can only mine them so quickly. So once you get a more substantial auto mining or auto bot setup, you will probably come against the IS bot limit. You'll be able to see that if we find the mining bot, the baby Autobot limit, which is actually separate to the bot limit, we're currently at 1 out of 10 for Autobot, the mining Autobot and the harvesting Autobot. I am gracefully, rapidly approaching the point where I've finished collecting enough log nodes. We have an interesting feature of node mining here. This is a mining rush. It gives you 50 blocks. Oh, help. Another Shiva man. Gives you 50 blocks of mining with a much higher chance to get a random enchantment gem. If we're lucky, there you go, that's the first one. We've got a minor stone gem. And hopefully we can perhaps get even more. There's no guarantee that we will, but you can right click and see how many more there's left, and then that's it. But we got one basically free minor stone gem while we were mining the cobblestone, which is nice. Okay, mission accomplished. I just spent all my money on furnaces because I'm lazy, but hopefully I now have a full rotation of enriched log nodes, and I will be able to start cooking up some wood and making lots of charcoal and making lots of furnaces. That's the idea. If we check this, you'll already see some people that have started to get them set up. But I mean, we need them anyway, so even if this was a waste of time, it's kind of whatever. So I have a bee larva here. In fact, oh wait, did I get lucky to get one? I might have gotten very lucky to get one. So the vanilla beehive recipe is like this. Oh, that works. If I place this, can I place the lava in this? I'm so confused. How do I, wait, I'm very confused. Hang on. Am I stupid? Do you get it? Huh. I think I got lucky to got this bee larva, because it wasn't a guaranteed chance, because I didn't get one from the other beehive I broke. This is not the beehive you're meant to craft. Is there... Could I have seen this? No. Right. Take your empty honeycomb, go to a crafting menu, do it like a chest, and you get the custom beehive. Okay. Not this. This is just a random building block. This is useless. You want the custom beehive. Whoa. So the description is... A fruitful hive ready to provide for their queen. Worker bees will fly out of their hive and pollinate crops. They hover over, collect pollen on it, process. Right. So we take that, grab the larva, or look in the menu. Basic bee worker. So I can add a larva into that slot and that starts incubating. So you can convert 10 pollen into a filled honeycomb, tiered to that type. And then, as we saw earlier, that honey can be sold for cash. Huge. So the honeycomb's stored. Okay. We just hit island level 2. Filled honeycomb is used to add EXP to your beehive and progress its level by feeding the queen bee, or can be extracted from the hive and placed into a honey distiller to create honey bottle. So if I break that... Okay, I got another larva, which is nice. I think that's a good thing. It's all a bit confusing and new, must be said. But I think I had to go back and look at the bloody update post. I'm still looking at it, actually. So, yeah. So we destroyed the bee nest and got that. So they fully grow any crops if they attempt to pollinate them. You will need to get your lands on bee larva. Jesus, typos are pretty common this, huh? Which can then be incubated and hatched into a random tier of worker bee. Yeah, so we've got a couple of those. Once transformed, so they can also be gained from island quests, which is probably the main way you're going to get them. Once transformed, it will turn into a random tier from basic to mythic. Higher tiers with better attributes. Using higher tiers of pollen will increase your chance to receive higher tiered bees from the incubation process. Each bee has their own unique traits. Forage speed, forage distance, max forage time, max forage per trip, rest time. So it's currently resting, and then it will go out again and do 2 forages per trip max. Bees can be added / removed from your hive at any time. It'll begin going through the foraging and resting cycle. So it boosts crop growth and fills stuff. So if you have empty honeycomb stored within your beehive, you can combine it with your tiered pollen to create a filled honeycomb. So the honeycomb types are stored here. You can combine it with this, which can increase the level of the queen bee. So what I would need 50 filled honeycomb to level it up. Or you can extract the filled honeycomb from your beehive and use a honey distiller to create honey bottles. Honey distillers can be purchased for 100k and then you can start making money from it. Okay, cool. The honey also is used in custom recipes. Now, what else did they add? Then there's a bee juicer which makes empty honeycomb from worker bees. Okay. Okay, we have 56 seconds remaining on our larvae incubation. We're probably going to get another basic worker, I'm assuming. Right click to transform to the bee worker. No pollen in the hive. Well, that's problematic. I didn't realise it costed stuff to transform them as well. Yuck. This bee business is going to break the bank. There are also little capture things like that if you are stupid enough to be AFK mining. So, be warned, full AFKing is not allowed, so don't be a naughty boy. Yeah, and now you see the rotation. Now I've got all of these things fucking going like mad. The best thing is probably to fill all of these with like charcoal, like a stack, and then you don't have to worry about refueling for a long time, and you just continuously refuel. You could probably, if you were like micromanaging, if you were in micromanaging hell, you could probably do an insane amount of maximization, but we chillin'. We now have 8 search fuel. Have these things actually been selling at 300 per? Yes, they have. 8 sell 2.5k. Let's see. But yeah, I mean it's whatever. So is it actually? It's not getting very much pollen. Why is it? Why are you bad? Why are you bad? Do I need to like replant the seed somewhere? That's crazy. Okay. Now I'm going to pivot to something a little different. No, not the slab. We are going to return to the tutorial quest and start working on the next thing. This is pretty important. Don't do what I did if you're actually starting off new. To be honest, you should just focus on the tutorial. I'm like several hours, like 2.5 hours into this recording. Oh yeah, I've forgotten how fishing works, so I need to readjust. We're gonna do all 150 fish in one go, and the reason for that is because of the combo system. When, unlike regular fishing, where you actually have to fully retract your rod, there's a different system in Cosmicsky. You'll see that the icon, the fish reel goes through a number of different alerts. It goes in a random order from grey, yellow, orange, and red. Now each of these have different properties, but basically the closer it is to red, the faster the next one will go in. And if you manage to reel it in on red, then you'll get a little additional particle effect, and you can continue fishing. We got another Shiva band, that's crazy. But yes, while doing this, you'll also level up your fishing rod. And there is a fish out limit, which resets twice a day at not great. I think it's like 6 AM for me, British time. But yeah. So if we do IS tools, we can see I can update my mental thing of what this does. We'll get a random socket at level 20 and random attributes every 10 levels. Although there isn't actually a type of tool, you'll see that this is a stone fishing rod and not a, I don't know, diamond iron fishing rod. So it's still very different in that respect. So who actually won it? Resistus is probably capping. Okay. That guy plays this game too much, I'm not gonna lie. Resistors, if you're ever watching this, you played this game too much. I think you probably already know this, but yeah, you just do. But yeah, I'm gonna sit here and slowly fish out. And the exciting thing is that you get a special reward at the end if you do finish the fish out. And the interesting thing is, if you can also get better types of fish, which sell for more money. Well, that's cool. We just got an excellent level 20 bonus. We got +1 bonus fish catch, which is not too shabby. And we also got a heroic socket, which is the best, or well, technically the second best socket you can get. This is a good opportunity to look at fishing enchants. Thankfully, fishing enchants is a very limited set. The main ones are fresh delivery in the heroic socket, double dip in the godly socket, sunken gems in the legendary tier, deep search and combo saver in the elite tier, and fishing master in the basic tier. All of those are quite good. They help you get through and complete your fish out much quicker. And in the case of fresh delivery, get even more materials. And you can see with the +1 bonus fish catch, I'm actually getting compared to the base 1 per catch, I've now doubled the amount that I'm getting, which is excellent. And on the last fish catch, we get a fish out bonus of a money note for only 1,000 this time, but it can be more than that. So we are going to put most of the tadpoles away. Unfortunately, we can't put them in the vault, so I guess I'm going to move the things out here. But I can do sell hand, and that will make me a bit of moolah. So now what I can do, purchase 1 stone enchantment book from the thingy. Just purchase an armor one. That's okay. We can run /collect, get a bunch of different things here, get some more XP, some trash books, some more trash books, some more trash books. Cool, 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 cool. And now I can do the next thing, apply an enchantment book to your gear using the anvil. So we're going to take our well-fed thing, we're going to apply and break in 2, and all of these. Bish, bash, bosh. There you go, it's got all of those enchants on there. And obviously that consumes something too. Purchase a basic trinket. Ah, that's unfortunate. I already did that. So I've done that quest. So now the task at hand is to get into some action. We are going to take the sword that hasn't sold, our trinkets, and finish enchanting our gear. So before we head into adventure, I want to talk to you about the new thing this map, which is adventure skills or adventure levels. Now, these things are pretty cool. Not sure how well balanced the XP requirements are, but the main important thing is that you get a multiplier every day once you do an hour of grinding. So it's important. If you have any plan, frankly, honestly, not even if you want to be a kind of adventure, just as bare necessity while playing this game, you probably want to be doing as much, or at least hit your A level like milestone, you know? Just do that at the bare minimum. One thing I want to do though, because I've got a bit of XP, I want to open some gems. Now it's probably not going to go very well. It didn't go very well, but is there anything? Yeah, actually I really shouldn't be opening combat gems. Let's open a major regular gem, see if we get anything good. We did not. So there are a bunch of custom enchants in this game. I'm not going to try and go through them all. Generally, the better their rarity, the better they are. You know, things like Overload and Enlightened. These enchants are generally better than like Sanctuary Shield, Bloodletting, Trap, stuff like that. However, you can't have multiple types of a socket on a single gear under normal circumstances, unless you have a very special socket that allows you to add more than one socket to a gear. So most of the time you will have what I'm trying to say is you will have space for the low tier enchants because you will have a lower tier socket on it. So it's not like you should completely disregard the lower tier enchants. Just generally the higher value ones are more important, and there is a massive, and I do mean massive, premium for max level enchants, especially if they have a low break chance. But we're not going to waste any time with any of these, frankly. Maybe I'll hold on to Berserk for that. Someone, I wonder if anyone's bought Berserk. Oh, I'll just put that up for like $500, not 500k. It's a terrible gem, but there's a chance it will sell. But yeah, and it is very valuable to get dust as well. That's quite an important thing. So now that we have our gear and have enchanted, we can do /adventure and head into one of the many adventure worlds. Wow, that is awesome. They really put 9 separate ones start of the world. That's awesome. So we're just going to pick a middle-ish one. And this is, I think, completely unique adventure world that I haven't really played before. So this is a random TP. Enter to be teleported to a random location. This is a new thing. It allows you to get away from the starting zone very quickly. There's a lot of information you will see. First of all, you've got the adventure level thing on the left. You've got to be in here for an hour total, and you can get the next day's multiplier. Then you have the session stats, which gives you the stats of what you've done during that adventure session. You have the Marauder hit list. It shows you the unlocked things and how many of a specific type of Marauder you need to kill for a bonus hit list chest. And then you have the adventure upgrades, primarily gained from killing bandit captains, which gives you a chance at double points, incoming PvE damage reduction, reduced durability damage, a chance to get items dropped from kills rather than from chests, and the alignment timer reduction, which is supposed to make your hostile alignment timers reduce quicker, which if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. You can just assume it's a bad one. So let's head through here. It's not an instant TP, it's a teleport, which I didn't know, because you can tell I haven't been here before. And we'll immediately to a random POI in a somewhat dangerous spot, if I'm honest. But there you go. If I pop strength, can I one-shot these guys? Yes. Can I one-shot all of these guys? Almost. Oh, there's a lot of mobs here. I'm gonna run because there's yeah, I'm gonna run. So this is a new area that I haven't really been before. It's very important that you get the strength kit and the gear as soon as possible. So that chest only had experience, which means it had no items, so instant closed. This one is different. This is a repair scroll and unenchanted leggings. And that's basically the cycle. At the moment, there are only basic chests, because it is only a few hours into the game. However, in a few minutes, elite loot will release, as well as legendary loot. So at some point, I'm just going to kill a few more things. Try not to get too engrossed, because it is very easy to do so. Very addictive, killing. Especially when you one-shot mobs like this. But I need to get better food as soon as possible, because even with well-fed 1, the apples aren't doing very much. But yeah, this is the main thing. You just try and kite them. But as you see just there, I got some science scrap, some dust. You can get a bunch of stuff, some wheat seeds, all sorts of possible loot in this area. And there's a lot of mobs too, so it's cool. This is a Marauder General. They're a bit tankier, and they reward you something called Marauder Skulls. This is a special adventure-specific currency, which allows you to purchase items from your local mule. Mules are special NPCs, which we can't actually use yet, because we are not high enough adventure level. They will enable you to transfer items out of the adventure without ever leaving, or without actually TPing out, which you can then retrieve from /collect at a later date. But now that we've done the grinding, we can move away. I'm going to do /spawn in a minute, and you can see from those mobs that I've killed, I've now got 164 EXP, and I've got currently active the 2x daily multiplier, right? So yeah, all fine and dandy. These are pretty important, these repair scrolls, if you are lacking a rank, though I will show you something I did mention earlier, which is if you are a no rank, I can do fix all. Or lacking that, you can go to Fixer Felix. He will fix everything on a 30-minute cooldown. So try and use him sparingly, otherwise use the repair scrolls that you will get probably quite frequently, especially if you are the basic mobs. But yeah, that is it for that quest. We can go back to thing move on to the next step. Unfortunately, my recording ended when I came back from a little AFK session, so I have to end the video here because I have run out of footage. The only remaining things in the tutorial was an introduction to custom recipes, which I can assure you we will look into with much more detail in future videos, as well as getting a free beehive, which I've already done some stuff on bees in this admittedly very long first episode now. So that is going to be it for myself. I hope you all enjoyed. We have covered a lot of topics today and we've made a lot of progress. So things are looking good. I will see you on day 2 of Cosmicsky. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.